Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life. Hey, let me say that again. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Sorry, I wasn't sure my microphone was working. Hopefully that did work. What an exciting time to be an early adopter in the digital asset space. The market is what? 12,000 for BTC. That is a pretty cool deal. It hit the 12,000 mark, I guess sometime early this morning. So that is absolutely outstanding. I hope you guys got the Blockfolio app set up and got your assets in this. So you can kind of check and see what's going on, get your alerts for different percentage gains, if you will, so that you know what is going on. Wow, wow, wow. Really, really cool stuff. So the market's doing this. I'm going to cover a couple of things about the Sum app from Visa Then, and really, you know, the MoneyGram thing. I think this is a new partnership. We're going to look into that, make sure that it is a new thing. We all know how significant the Ripple and MoneyGram partnership is, and so we always want to pay attention to new news if it is in fact new news. We want to make sure that it is new, but it probably is new to some of the people listening to this channel, right? So I know it's a lot of new people coming into this space. Right, it's a lot of new people to the channel. We hit over 4,000 the other day. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I definitely appreciate that. And so we're at a rapid pace to get to 5,000. I'm really excited about being able to add value to more people in this space, to more of us, as I like to say, the average Joe and the average Jane, to get them into this space and take advantage of this new asset class that is the digital asset space. And so listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. All right, guys, so let's do this. Shout out to DJ Peter Voss for sharing this. Again, this is another guy who's always adding value to the community on a daily basis. Thank you, Peter, for taking the time, the energy, and resources to add to the community. All right, so it says Ripple, the Sum banking app, best use case for the XRP ledger. Sum, XUMM is how it's spelled. So let's go over this. This is on cryptonewsflash.com. Let's go over this article. Again, Peter, thank you so much. All right, so best use case for the XRP ledger. Here are some highlights, and I'll go over the article. Spring shows some great confidence in the Sum as the best use case for the XRP ledger and promises the developers further financial support. The PayID hackathon brings new ideas and possible applications for XRP. Okay, so let's go into the article. Warren Paul Anderson of Spring recently announced that Spring has signed a new 3-year contract to support XRPL Labs and the Sum app. He called Sum one of the best representations of the XRP ledger. Wow, nice. Shout out to Visa Then. Spring is Ripple's investment arm and is driving the adoption of XRPL-based applications. And so it's very important to know for you new in the space and learning about Ripple and the greatest digital asset ever created, which is XRP, is that the Spring is a spin-off from Ripple. It's like it says here in the article, it's their investment arm. And what they do is they invest in projects, right, and create some of their own. They invest in projects that are willing to come up with more use cases, put together more projects and use cases for XRP and the XRPL ledger, like Kava, for example, or maybe even Solo. I don't know if they invested in Solo though. And so those are just some examples. And the Sum app is created by a guy named and his team, Visa Then, and his team at XRPL Labs. Okay, XRPL Labs. So the XRPL continues to invest in collaboration with Sum. Should be right. So considering Sum's development over the last month, this is not surprising. As Crypto Newsflash already reported in March, the app started with about 3,700 users. Although the app still had a few bugs at the start, less than 2 months later in May, Chief Developer Visa Then said that Sum would soon be ready for mass deployment. This assertion was shortly thereafter substantiated by Sum with a massive update with over 60 fixes, right? So the XRPL promptly provided another cash injection. So it's not the XRPL, it's Spring, right? Spring is the one putting in the cash investment. So in early August to further sums development, according to, when Spring is XPRING, that's the investment arm for Ripple. It's pronounced Spring, they pronounce it Spring. So promptly provided another cash injection in early August to further sums development. I like the app. I have it downloaded on my phone. It's pretty cool. According to Vin, one of the main goals of the Sum app is to enable trading in currencies such as the euro dollar and XRP independent of banks. So trading between euro and XRP independent of banks, right? Above all, the simplification of peer-to-peer payments and payments in trade is to be simplified. And it is obvious that Spring considers Sum to be the most promising solution for this essential area. Yeah, 3-year contract for, kind of guaranteeing, if you will, continued dollars invested into XRPL Labs. And again, you don't know, they may come up with another thing besides the Sum app. We all know they created the XRP tip bot as well. So Anderson wrote that many of the projects exceeded the expectation of the organizers in quality and demand. After the selection of 10 finalists, they got the chance to present their projects to a top class of experts. Among those was David Schwartz, AKA Joel Katz, the CTO of Ripple, and Ethan Beard, the Senior Vice President of Spring, were among them. So among the top 10 were projects such as Brisk ID, which allows anyone to set up a Pay ID via mobile phone. One of the main goals of the developers was to make new technologies accessible for normal people. Absolutely love that concept. Is this RipPay or Repay? Probably RipPay. Also made it into the top 10. The app makes it possible to send contacts from Discord, Telegram, and Slack and other services via PayID XRP with just one message, okay? The top 3 consisted of an app from Usend that links bank accounts to PayID, a PayID marketplace for video games from O-Games, and a tool from PayID Validator to validate PayID response headers. Everything is about PayID, and that's going to be essentially what PayID is it's going to simplify the wallets and how people get paid in digital assets and beyond digital assets, right? In regular traditional. And so so PayID is essentially like an email for your digital asset wallets or other currency wallets. So everyone's familiar with email. Everyone has an email address. But when I ask you what's your email address, I don't say, what's your Google email address, or what's your Yahoo email address, or what's your any other kind of email. I just say, what's your email address, right? And so with PayID, it's that this is what they're looking to do as well. Make it that simple. When I want to send you an asset or receive an asset, I should just be able to tell you my PayID, which looks like an email, okay? And then you're able to send me anything that I'm willing to accept, right? And literally be able to send anything of value, which is cool ID. So that's the idea. It's the wallet simplified, because the way these wallet addresses, especially in the digital asset space, are very, very difficult with all these letters and numbers and things like that. Your mom and my mom is not interested in having wallet addresses like that and sending money back and forth that way, but they'll use an email, right? And so this is what PayID is looking to do. So I'm glad there's a lot of projects around making PayID simpler and easier to use. So the variety of topics and possibilities that the developers found for PayID is striking, but the focus was clearly on usability and the removal of barriers. There you go. To the use of the new technology. Some of the ideas certainly point to upcoming trends. So again, shout out to Vise Wen and the guys over there, the team over at XRPL Labs. Getting a 3-year deal from Spring is pretty significant. All right, so I went over this a little bit. Bitcoin did top over 12,000, so that's pretty cool, right? Because we want more people to come into the space. Again, that's the idea. Let's usher them in, right? And then we'll hurry them along and better educate them about the best digital asset ever created, which is XRP, right? And so let's go over something that I think is, we'll see what's going on here. MoneyGram inked a new partnership. I want to feel like this perhaps came out before, but we'll go over it just in case. All right. So shout out to the Cryptic Poet. another guy with the value add to the community. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate you taking the time again and your energy and your resources to find the stuff and share it with the community. So Rippleback MoneyGram partners with major money transfer platform in Sri Lanka. Okay, let's see what that is about. This is from youtoday.com or YouToday. Rippleback MoneyGram partners with major money transfer in Sri Lanka. This is from Yuri. So here, we're going to go over the stuff here with you. Again, that MoneyGram deal, that partnership, yeah, it's proven to be very, very pivotal and hugely important for the Ripple ecosystem and the XRP ecosystem to grow and expand. So money transfer giant MoneyGram International, a major partner of the Ripple Decacorn, okay, is now collaborating with the leading funds transfer platforms in Sri Lanka. The local media had reported. This opens opportunity for MoneyGram's expansion to millions of new users on Sri Lanka. MoneyGram partners with MMBL, Mike Bravo Lima, money transfer. The MMBL money transfer is the leading player in the cash transmitting market in Sri Lanka. And now the MoneyGram giant has joined forces with it to allow its customers to receive money from any spot on the globe and send their funds anywhere beyond Sri Lanka. Okay, so the head of the Asia Pacific and South Asia region from MoneyGram, Anil Kapoor, stated that among other benefits of being MoneyGram's partner, MMBL Money Transfer will enable its clients to receive transfers at night and on weekends too. Kind of a 24/7 type of deal in essence. So MMBL Money Transfers already runs more than 2,000 cash payout locations, including banks, retail outlets, and non-banking financial institutions. So again, and MoneyGram, and I said this before on the channel, ever since that partnership with Ripple, MoneyGram has been able to ink deal after deal after deal after deal. Again, this expands the Ripple ecosystem as well as, in my opinion, the XRP ecosystem, and with hopes of ODL being used. So shout out to MoneyGram for putting together another deal and inking another partnership. I wanted to share something from Charlie Shrem, but let me share this first. This is on GateHub, and I thought this was an interesting tweet from GateHub, starting off your week with a web monetization feature. Monetize your website, blog, or stream with the help of Coil and start earning. So Coil, again, spring initiative allows you to earn money on, for web monetization. The idea is to send people to your site without having to do these subscriptions to Forbes or Wall Street or anything else. Send people, you can just pay for while you're there. And if you're not there, no need to pay, right? Genius idea. It streams, pennies of, micro pennies of pennies, if you will, right? And that's a really, really cool deal. And I like that. I signed up for Coil, absolutely 100%. And I like, if I'm going to just go check someone out on Medium, go check someone out on Coil.com, or whether it be Sentiment, wherever, I'm paying for the time that I'm on. And when I'm off, I'm no longer paying. And I like that concept. So where's the Charlie Shrem thing? Yeah, where is that? I think this is so hugely important to understand. Charlie Shrem, guys, by the way, one of the early guys in the BTC world, right? If you're new to the space and you want to learn about where this Bitcoin thing kind of gets started, make sure that you just go to YouTube or Netflix, right? Put Bitcoin in there, watch a couple of videos. Charlie Shrem is in like one of the first videos, and I believe him and Eric Voorhees might have been there as well, another early guy. But I think this is important. Charlie, very, very smart guy. I watched the interview that he did on his YouTube channel, which is called Blockworks, where he interviewed David Schwartz, and they had an excellent back and forth. And you could tell how smart this guy, Charlie, is. Just kind of one of the guys, one of those young minds that's able to see 5 and 10 years out into the future. And I like this tweet, and I want to end the video with this because I think this is so important to know. You are excited. This is what he's saying. You are excited about the altcoin and Bitcoin bull cycle now? We aren't even finished with the innovators stage yet, right? So this is kind of a cycle. I remember the lady from Swell was a lady at Swell. I believe she was from Ripple. She may have not been, but she was talking about where the Ripple ecosystem was, right? The Ripple Slant XRP ecosystem was. And she had pointed out that we had made a significant move because we had gone from innovators to early adopters and kind of in between early adopters in the early majority, like kind of like crossing the chasm in terms of adoption, right? He is talking about the whole entire space and saying that it is still in the innovator stage. Imagine being innovators stage, right? We haven't got even out of the innovator stage yet. This is why I always say to you guys that every moment that you wake up, it should be a head up and shoulders back moment for you, my friends, for you. Why? Because number one, you're playing a game that 99.9% of the masses don't even know is being played, and you're winning, right? But number two, you're early. You understand? You're an early adopter of this in a new asset class that is a digital asset space. That is a powerful, powerful place to be. So you have a chance to study this space, to level up your XRP IQ, right? To level up your digital asset space as a whole IQ, and to level up your financial IQ so that you are prepared when moon. And like I said before, this is not going to be, if this is your first bull run, it's not going to be your last. It's not going to be your last, right? And so that's a pretty cool place to be. So shout out to Charlie Schwem. I think that's a very, very pointed tweet, and we should really pay attention to that and realize just where we are. How cool is that? All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.